In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested tutorial on how to achieve the upper part of this dress, which is the Monostrap Bustier. So to start, the first thing I'm going to do is to mark my shoulder to bust, under bust and waistline, right? So you're going to measure your shoulder to waist in front and also measure your shoulder to waist at the back. Now you're going to place your tape and mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus half. From here, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. And here, I'll be marking out a neckline about 3.5 inches. I'll come down by 3 inches. This will serve as a guide for this pattern. You want to place your ruler and go ahead to connect this. After you're done connecting this at this point, the next step you want to take is to connect from here your neckline to that 1 inch at your shoulder slope. That shoulder slope, you're going to place your tape and mark your chest line. To get your chest line is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. Whatever you have, mark out a straight line at that point. Place back your tape and mark your shoulder divided by 2. Then place your ruler again and connect all the way up. After you're done connecting, you're going to place your tape and you're going to fold it. Then mark the midpoint. Come out by ½ inch here. Place your tape again and you're going to mark your bust measurement divided by 4. Now connect from the midpoint all the way up and connect from the midpoint to your bust circumference divided by 4. So I'll go ahead to use my marker to outline my pattern to make it more visible for you to see. Next is to mark your dart. So I'll start by marking my nipple to nipple divided by 2. My nipple to nipple is 7 inches divided by 2, which will give me 3.5 inches. Now I'm going to mark this from the bust all the way down. Then I'll place my ruler to draw out a straight line. Now for my shoulder, I'm going to place it from the neckline to the remaining part of the shoulder, divide it by 2. Then place my ruler and I'm going to connect it all the way up. Now the next step I'll take is to go ahead to mark my dart intake. I'll be using 1 inch on both sides because my bust is on the smaller side. If your bust is on the bigger side, you should consider using 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead to place my ruler and I will connect these lines. So I'll also connect the other side. So first I have to readjust it because what I had there was more than 1 inch. Then I'll connect. Then I'll place this, connect from the bust down to the under bust. Then I'm going to also connect at the other side of my pattern. After connecting, I'll go in with my marker to outline it to make it more visible. And after marking at this point, you're going to determine how high you want the neckline area to start. So I'm using 1.5 inches above my chest line. You can use 2 inches or 2.5 if you're on the busty side, right? So for my dart intake, I'm using 0.75 because my bust is 33.5 inches. So if your bust is bigger, you will use 1 inch here and 1.5 inches at the other side to tighten the over bust. Then I'll just go ahead to connect. After I'm done connecting at this point, I'll go ahead to draw out the neckline, which is a slight sweetheart neckline, and I'll outline. Now the next step you want to take is to insert your body measurement. Now for my bust is 33.5. I'll divide it by 4 and I'll mark. This dart intake I have here is what I'll replace and add my sewing allowance. Mark my under bust measurement divided by 4. Pick the dart intake I have here, replace it and add any sewing allowance of your choice. Mark your waist measurement divided by 4. Measure the dart intake, replace it, and then I'll add my sewing allowance. Now go ahead to connect all these lines. So after I'm done connecting, the next step I'll take is to mark my chest line. To get your chest line is the difference between your shoulder to waist in front and your shoulder to waist at the back. My shoulder to waist in front is 17, while my shoulder to waist at the back is 15.5. If you take out 15.5 from 17, you will have 1.5, which I'll go ahead to connect. Now after connecting, I'll connect or outline it this way. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead to transfer all these measurements that I have on this front pattern I'm going to transfer it to the other side. If you have a tracing wheel, all you have to do is just to trace it out. Now this is what I have at this part, so let's go ahead to readjust it to get the required design. From your neckline here, I'm going to connect here to the other side, but I'll be coming up by 1 inch, sorry, after the neckline for the yoke of the side. So I'll just use my free hand to get the desired neckline I want. Then I will go ahead to outline it with my marker. So after marking, if you're not okay with what you have, you can always go ahead to readjust, and you can see me do it here. So I went ahead to readjust it. So after marking out, what I'm going to do now is to use my marker to outline. I'll go ahead to outline and outline the other side also. So if you have any questions so far, please kindly go ahead to ask. Now after I'm done connecting at this point, the next step I'll take is to go ahead to tighten my yoke. You don't want to have much excess at the yoke part, so I mark 0.25 at both sides and I'll extend it up. So on the other side also, I will go ahead to mark 0.25 and I'll extend it all the way up. So I'll be blending out this part. This is to avoid my yoke having much excess towards the armhole of the dress. Then after this, I'll just go ahead to cut out my pattern. So if you have any questions so far, please go ahead to ask. Make sure you blend out your dart when you're marking this, sorry, when you're cutting this out. Then I'll go ahead to cut out the rest of the pattern. So after cutting out, you see me blending out the darts, and I'll keep it aside and cut out the rest of the pattern. While cutting this part, also blend out your darts, and this is what I have after I was done cutting out. Now let's cut the back pattern. So for the back pattern, I've marked out my zipper allowance, which I use 1.5. You can use 2 inches. I marked out a basic measurement of 3.5 by 1 inch for the back neckline. So for the chest line or armhole area, I used the same measurement I used for the front. So the next step you want to take now is to mark your dart. And to mark your dart, you need to mark your nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. Go ahead to place my ruler to connect. Now after connecting, what I'll do is to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of my dart. Then I will come down by 1 inch. After coming down by 1 inch, I'm going to connect this to this point and connect at the other side. Now the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to mark my measurement. I'll mark the bust measurement divided by 4 and add your sewing allowance. Mark your waist measurement divided by 4. Measure the dart intake you have here, replace it and add your sewing allowance. After you're done marking that, you want to go ahead to place your ruler to connect. So I'll just go ahead to place my ruler and I'll connect this all the way down. So after I'm done doing this, I'll go ahead to come in by 1/2 inch, place my ruler and I'll connect this up, then extend the neckline. Now I'll go ahead to cut this out. So after cutting this out, we'll go ahead to draft out the monostrap of the back. So this is what the back looks like. I'll go ahead to draw out a straight line at that part. Now from here, I'll connect this. I'll remark my dart on the other side. Now let's go ahead to connect the neckline. I'll place the shoulder of the other one meeting this side. That is where the two shoulders will meet. You want to make sure that it's matching to avoid joining the wrong shoulder. So remember, we came up by 1.5 inches from our pattern for the front for the neckline, and we also added additional 1 inch on top from that of the front pattern. So whatever you have at that side should match also, because of when you're joining the sleeve. Now I'll just go ahead to connect this also, and after that I will be cutting this out. And after cutting it out, I'll also go ahead to cut out the zipper bulge and slant it into 2. That is my back pattern. I'll slant it into 2. Oh, sorry, I'll slit it into 2. this way. So this is what I have now. Now if you're not okay with here, you can go ahead to readjust. So after readjusting, I'm not still okay with what I have, so I'll just go ahead to place and I will cut this out. So this is what I have after I was done cutting out, and this is what the back looks like. So you can see me blending out this part. This is what the back pattern looks like.